I really want to show you this awesome 2017 Street Glide Special with the new 107 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine. But before I show you them on the bike, let's go over here and let me show you some key features of this bike.
Okay.
So Harley Davidson has had this in the works for quite a while and coming up with something new to the Rushmore project that they came out with in 2014. The bikes really haven't changed any since 2014. You really have all the same features of the bike, but the biggest thing is this new power plant that now powers all the tourer model motorcycles, the trikes, and the CVOs have a brand new 114 cubic inch engine in them, which is pretty awesome. But some of the things about this new 107 cubic inch engine: improved miles per gallon. You think about it, you've got 4 valves, 2 spark plugs per cylinder. You're going to get a much better fuel burn out of it, which really helps with the fuel economy. More power, quicker acceleration, 10% more torque than the 103 cubic inch engine on this bike.
Wow.
If you compare to a 2016 Street Glide Special with a 2017 Street Glide Special, this bike from 0 to 60 would be 2 to 3 bike lengths faster. From 60 to 80, 1 to 2 bike lengths faster.
Wow.
That's pretty good acceleration.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Another great thing is the heat management. On your old Road King, do you still have a heating problem with that? Do you find that your legs get hot from that?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So think about it. Harley Davidson has really tried to improve those over the years. They really worked on the heat management of this. If you're getting a better fuel burn and it's working more proficiently, it is going to reduce the amount of heat that's produced off of it. There's a couple more things that they did to reduce the heat off the rider and the passenger, and we'll talk about that when we look at the bike. Richer exhaust note. The sound of this, you still have that great 45-degree engine, but it's got a nice, deeper, richer sound to it. 107 cubic inches over 103 cubic inches. Those 4 cubic inches make a big difference on just the sound of the bike. Lower idle speed. This bike now idles at 850 RPM. Most other Harleys are right around 1,000, 110, 1,010 RPM. You'll notice a big difference on it when you climb on it, that lower RPM is really going to help in number one, heat management. But the other thing that they did is they eliminated 75% of the vibration that you normally get out of your twin cam engines.
Wow.
So lower RPM and some other things that they did to the engine really make that run smooth, and I know you're going to like the ride of this. Improved fit. They narrowed the primary and optimized for a much cleaner look inside the motorcycle. So think about that if you were a short statured rider and your feet were wider apart because it had a wider primary cover on it. Now it's narrowed, so it allows you to get your legs in closer to the motorcycle. More short-legged riders are going to be able to put their feet flat on the ground. And then, of course, an improved charging system, 50% more charging capability on this, which allows you to plug in more stuff like heated gear if you want to extend the riding season, or if you got your cell phone plugged in, or you got your iPod plugged in, or all those other things that you want to plug into your motorcycle. The lights, if you want to plug in the lights and have all those LED lighting on the bike, bigger charging system allows you to do that. So one of the things that they did is improve the air cleaner. The closer that, the bigger the air cleaner on, it's allowing more air to flow in, because with 4 valves and 2 spark plugs on there, it is really helping in that fuel efficiency. And more miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Notice that they took the exhaust pipe here and they brought it forward away from the passenger. So now you've got the less heat coming back here on the passenger's feet. But one of the other things they did is they moved the catalytic converter back 2 inches. So the catalytic converter used to start right up here. A lot of heat generated around the rider, footboard, generating up to the passenger. Well, now they moved it back so the catalytic converter starts here and goes back to here. So bringing that heat all the way to the back.
Yeah.
And as it burns more efficiently, again, producing less heat. And then you still have that air blowing through there. It's going to help cool it. Larger oil capacity also.
Oh, is that right?
More oil being pumped through the engine, and they got a big oil cooler right on the front of the bike that's helping in cooling that oil as it's pumping through the engine.
Sounds pretty impressive. I was looking at the heads, that, obviously a little different design on there because you have extra spark plugs in there.
Yep.
But it still looks, it's still just as sexy as the Street Glide's ever been.
Oh yeah, it's still got that low slung look to it. And one of the other things that they did with this was really improve the suspension system on the back of it. So think about the air adjustable suspension that you have on your bike. They've eliminated that from the new models. So now all you have is the premium touring shocks that have the adjustable knob on it. It's an emulsion shock. So 15 to 30% greater capability in adjusting the rear shock on that to get a better ride out of it. So if you're a single rider, or you're a rider and a passenger, rider and cargo, you can adjust that shock to get that great ride out of it. They still kept the 49 millimeter front fork, but what they did is they put a dual bending valve technology in the front of it. The shocks on the inside are made by Showa, the manufacturer of them, but they've really improved that. 117 millimeters of travel on the standard size bikes and 98 millimeters of travel on the shorter bikes, or on the low ride bikes. So what does that really mean? That means if you took a 16 and you rode it, it'd feel like you were riding a Camaro because of the suspension system on it. You climb on a 17, it's like climbing in a Cadillac.
Okay.
That much difference in just the riding and handling capability of the 2017s, coupled with the big 107 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 power plant.
Sounds pretty good. So do I get to take one of these out?
Well,
for a ride?
you know, I got to get this off the stand first, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want you to take it and go for a ride and give us your feedback on what you think of that. Hang on while I get this thing down off of here.
All right, I'll help you grab the front end.
Okay, all right, start pulling, start pulling. Oh, oh.
Well, before I even leave, I can already tell a difference in the vibration. Holy cow, that runs smooth right there. That is a smooth idle. A little different clutch. Wow. Well, for one, it has a hydraulic clutch. Not used to that. Used to the old cable. Kind of nice. Holy cow. What a machine already. My gosh, the response on the throttle. And that motor is running silky smooth. I mean, it just, I don't hear any of the high-end noise I hear, like in my twin cam, my 88. It just has a nice sound to the motor, smoothness to it. Again, there's absolutely no vibration whatsoever in this handlebar. Wow. That's nice. Yeah, this new motor here is something special. Holy cow. Even the transmission feels smoother than normal. Gosh, I hate to say it. I'm a Road King guy through and through, but holy cow. I think if I had the money, I'd buy this today. Maybe I just need to try the Road King with this new motor because I love the new motor.
And?
Well, Eric, I have to tell you, all the hype you put on this bike, my expectations were way up there. After riding it, I mean, dude, I'll tell you right now, there's only one thing that I would change on this bike, and I'd buy it right now.
Take the fairing off of it so you had an open view.
Just lower the price.
Oh, lower the price.
I'll even settle for the fairing.
But you knew the price was high when you came in today.
No, that is, oh my gosh, that was, you know, I get to ride a lot of different bikes, and you know, all makes and models and everything else, and I always find the good in most of the bikes. I find what I like about them, but my gosh, this one here, I couldn't think of one thing I didn't like. I mean, it fit me perfect. Even the stock seat is super comfortable. Stock handlebar, stock grips. I normally can't ride more than 2 miles, and this right hand is shot. There's no vibration in the handlebars. There's no vibration anywhere, and I realize today's not the hottest day, and I wasn't on it that long. So as far as the heat goes, I can tell you right now, I didn't feel any heat coming off of the motor.
What'd you think of the roll-on power? That's what I thought. No explaining necessary on that. You need to come take it for a test ride. You're right. I was thoroughly impressed when I climbed on it and I twisted the grip on it. I have never had many motorcycles set me back in a seat like this one did, and I had the opportunity to do it on the CVO also. On the CVO, I twisted the grip. I almost flew off the back of the bike. If I hadn't been hanging on, I'd have been off the back of the bike.
Yeah.
that wouldn't have been funny because the bike would have kept going.
Yeah. Well, you know, I rode the Pro Street Breakout.
Yep.
And it had the big motor on it and everything else, and that's the same thing. I said I was really glad I had kind of had that curve in the back of the seat because it shot me back. This one here, it's got like the same power that bike has. Now, obviously, you know, it's comparing apples to oranges because they're two totally different bikes. But I mean, to have a bike of this size have the same power,
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, it's just, and I'm one of those guys. I don't hot rod a bike. I really don't. I'm not a hot rodder, but. And I've always said, you know, hey, my twin cam 88, it's got enough power and all that.
Yeah.
But my gosh, when you feel something like this, it's just like, it's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can tell you is, like I said, I wouldn't change anything about it. I'm not a big fan of fairings yet. You know, you're probably a little older than I am, so, you know.
What are you talking about? We're probably the same age.
But yeah, I mean, and I could get used to that pretty easy with all the other luxuries that are coming along with this brand new motor. I will give Harley Davidson 2 thumbs up with that new motor.
It is awesome, and you're right. I do ride a big geezer glide, you know, an ultra limited. So that doesn't show my age because you'll be on one before too long, or maybe it'll be the trike with the 107 cubic inch engine in it that you can get.
All right.
So yeah. I mean, think about it. Harley put the 107 cubic inch engine in not only this bike, but they put it in the trike, and so now you can get it both in the air cooled and twin cooled with the liquid and air on the ultra limited and the trike and the CVOs. So that really helps in the cooling of the bike. But think about, they transitioned from the Evo engine to the twin cam engine, and now they're back to a single camshaft in this 107 engine. One camshaft drives, you know, all 8 valves. So you got less moving component parts in there, and one drive chain that takes care of everything. They also, you know, did some, made some changes in the primary on the compensator, and they also made some changes in the first gear cluster to help with a lot of that clunking and hard finding neutral.
Yeah.
Did you find neutral pretty easy on it?
Very easy.
Yeah.
Very easy.
So they really worked on that. So it's just a phenomenal motorcycle, and I'll tell you what, Scott, if anybody gets the opportunity to come take one for a ride at the dealership, come here to Southside Harley. We'll be more than happy to let you take one of these for a ride, or you know, if you're up in the north part of the state, go to your local dealer, take one for a ride. You got to experience this motorcycle.
Yeah.
It is an awesome bike.
I agree 100% with that. If you haven't rode one of the new ones, you have to ride it.
You have to ride the new ones, yeah.
It's a totally different experience.
Yep.